was that?
Beat the shit out of the sides.
Something like that. Anyway, we're recording. Welcome back to Ssdv. This is the big, the buff, the black. I got a big ass dick. Suck my dick, you fucking faggots. I mean, women, please. I love you. Let's go ahead and get the rest of the introductions going. Damn, as long as everyone points at everyone else, it's not somebody else. Jesus Christ.
That's right.
All right, so we're gonna go with TJ first. My name's TJ, light skinned, very white. I keep my dick out of sight, but when I see a man, I be like, Dynamite.
No, that was gay.
Hey, you the one that said it.
I don't do that. I don't sound like that either. How y'all doing? It's TJ. Nothing else to say, but hey, we gonna have a good time today.
Cause I'm kind of a little gay, cause I'm TJ.
Who hurt you, bro?
Yo, your man's Clem's back. I'm not even gonna rhyme anything because someone here is gonna turn it gay. So right. I'm just gonna give my introduction and then keep it moving.
I promise you I wasn't gonna turn it gay.
Yeah, okay.
The lies.
Yeah, all right. Full cap right there. All right, my name's Paul, back again. I have no rap either because there is a very homosexual...
I'm not sure why I'm looked at for that. Like, I don't get what I did there.
I just have to describe it for the audience. I wasn't accusing you, but like, you know.
Oh, you're right. It was definitely Clint.
Now they.
No, it was definitely
Clint.
Clint.
No. That's smart viewers, man. You know exactly the kind of people you're catering to.
All right. So,
You
with
just
that.
ain't gonna let me introduce
Oh shit! I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The second class citizen turn.
Second class
Wow.
citizen.
Wow. It's your lady named Katie holding it down for the female population.
Best of the rest.
You know, I'm fight you through these mics.
It wasn't me. Battle of the Mics and Men. All right. Anyway, my bad about that cat.
Very poor form.
Shh. No one saw anything.
No respect for the fair.
All right, so since for some reason or another TJ likes bringing up children in our fucking podcast here, I was gonna ask you guys: have you guys been following the story about old girl with Epstein on the trials?
They started the trial?
Gillian Maxwell.
Yep,
Yeah.
for Maxwell.
I saw the documentary where she disappeared for a whole truckload of seconds.
Yeah, it's called being in prison.
Yeah, I haven't been following it super close now.
Oh,
There's
but
been a whole lot of information coming out.
Well, the other bit of it too is they decided after they had seen how embarrassing it was for the state when they had gone through the Rittenhouse trials. For that, they were just kind of like, yeah, considering how many people are probably going to get named and shamed in the elites, it's like, yeah, probably don't want to advertise that too heavily or let people see what's being said.
yeah, because there's. And the crazy thing is too, like, you know, motherfuckers like to say, "Oh no, this is very political and everything else like that." But no, it's on both sides here.
Yeah, it's political, just in not the way that they think it is. Where it's just like, oh yeah, it's time to name and shame, especially when you have like the pilot going out to Epstein's Island naming names, and then on top of that, you have leaked FAA records that were showing flight manifests of who was actually on the flights that were going over there. So 200 flights, from my understanding, or 200 above that, and so it's like, yeah. So there's some people that are going to catch heat for that, and the funny thing is even the ones that were named, where it's just like, yeah, kind of could have picked you guys out of a lineup.
Oh, so she didn't suicide herself yet, then?
No. That's kind of surprising because, like, you know, usually, like, you know, that sort of thing would be happening. I mean, even Epstein died under very suspicious circumstances.
Super suspicious.
That was the crazy.
He was
determined to kill himself.
Well, considering you were in like a suicide-proof cell and you were wearing like a paper gown, like you would be when you go down to the doctor's office,
Yes.
which will tear if you try and wrap it up tight enough to hang yourself with. So the only thing that we can assume that happened is, like, you know, he like somersaulted himself off of his bunk and just snapped his neck on the floor.
And just didn't catch himself because he's talking.
Oh yeah, no, exactly. So he did some sort of, like, you know, like insane gymnastics to snap his neck with enough
Discipline.
yeah, exactly.
Master Splinter taught him well.
That's exactly right. So it was the Foot Clan that went there and got him, I guess, but.
All right, so okay, with that right there, you know, since we all know that that's not getting much coverage. Another thing that I also find funny that is also not getting a lot of coverage is the Ahmaud Arbery trial. That actually they went through their verdict and everything else like that. Now, I don't think anyone else is actually really been following that. Has anyone here been following it aside from me?
Well, I've been following it.
Are you aware what the verdict was?
Guilty, not on all counts.
All right. No, see,
and charged for what is it? The deputy attorney.
Oh yeah, the other person for fucking
delaying shit.
Yeah. So okay, cool. No, see, I had to ask because the simple fact of the matter is that back when the Kyle thing was going on and whatnot, I got a lot of fucking heat over it, and like there's literally, I've explained this beforehand. People fucking, I can't be around you. I gotta disown you. Those fucking faggots, right? Mm-hmm. It gets to the point where it's like, okay, well, you guys everyone was on that. Everyone was bitching, moaning, complaining about the results of that. And yet now we got, something else where justice is also served correctly, because I'm going to say it again. The Rittenhouse verdict was done correctly. That everyone here knows, that's actually seen the evidence and everything else, that knows that that's clear and cut self-defense, right?
Well, the thing that really kind of was amusing to me about the Rittenhouse trial was more so that it really kind of went to show how corrupt the state is in prosecution of people and how the justice system actually works. So, to a certain degree, I can understand what a lot of people's grievances are with the justice system, because this is what you just got to see. This isn't necessarily something that happens, in the public eye every single day, but you can guarantee that there are prosecutors that do this sort of stuff, that love having the high conviction rate, that love having the high
Say Kamala Harris.
Yeah, so exactly. Love sending people to jail. And that's exactly what I think a lot of people got to see, but that's not the bit that they're focused on. And there's a lot of other people that saw that, the Rittenhouse verdict, and we're just like, oh yeah, the justice system works. And it's just like, that is entirely the wrong takeaway to take away from this message. It's just like, it yielded a verdict that was, I believe, correct, and the jury seems to think that that was correct as well. But what it exposed was a very, very corrupt prosecutorial system that we have out there.
You see all the bullshit they kept bringing up and everything else, to the point where the judge had to send a jury out countless fucking times just to tell them, dude, you're walking on thin ice. What the fuck are you doing? You're violating rights. You're doing this, that, and the third.
But
I'm going to say, as a person who hasn't seen, please explain to me, because I've not seen that.
The lore's really
all I've seen is the crying video.
There's a lot of stuff that was going on, to the point where, the prosecutor was trying to pretty much violate his right to silence that he had way beforehand. And it's literally like the judge, so whenever there's some bullshit happening or whatnot, the judge has to send a jury out, so this way they're not swayed one way or the other. Mm-hmm. So when the judge sent the jury out and everything, so everyone else is able to sit there and see, the judge just ring this fucking asshole out. And I gotta sit here and tell you, man, when I got arrested and everything else like that, I got lucky that the prosecutor was actually on my side, kind of. And I say kind of because they pushed for the maximum amount of time I could be on fucking probation. But at the same time, they did not push for jail. And being in the state of Jersey with everything that I had going on, I was facing at least 13 to 15 years of jail time just for the fuck of it. Mm-hmm. But it's one of those things where you sit here and you look at it. I'm going to violate your right to silence. Along with that right there, I'm going to just bring up different charges that has nothing to do with this fucking case. Legit, just in the middle of the case, we're going to change the charge from this to this. We're going to change the charge from this to this. We're going to prosecute you for this. It's out of nowhere. To the point where it's like, we don't have a case. So our case is now going to be, he provoked them into attacking him so he can shoot them.
But I think
one magazine?
Yeah. Well, my man's with proficient, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that I think was important about this is a lot of people, I think, are getting the wrong takeaways about that sort of trial, because they're not really appreciating the fact that for this moment you could see exactly how corrupt and how the justice system actually functions for the average person that gets cycled through this. This just happened to be a very large, high-profile case, and you can see you have a very, very small town prosecutor and prosecution team that's handling this. And you could see just how they were just pulling everything they could out of the hat to try and send this kid to prison. And, just basically making an absolute mockery out of the justice system. And this is what, on average, the average person is probably going to experience going through the justice system.
Yeah.
So this is really what the takeaway for everyone that's going through this sort of thing should be, like, aware of, is that this is what you should expect. This is what's really going on. This is what's happening to literally every individual that gets processed through this sort of thing. And not everybody has a multi-million-dollar defense team that's like crowdfunded or like getting bailed out by the MyPillow guy. It's like, it's not everybody has like those sort of those sort of resources that they can use when these sort of ramifications are coming towards them from the state, because the state has infinite money. So even if you go to trial, even if you manage to beat the charges that the state's levying against you, you're going to find yourself hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. So this is the major takeaway I think that a lot of people should have about this thing, that a lot of people don't think about, is that this is exposing, for anybody that hasn't been processed through the justice system, it's like this is probably a very good microcosm of what the average person is going through when they get processed through the justice system. Yeah. So this is something that everyone should kind of look at and say that there needs to be justice reform when it comes to how this sort of stuff is processed. Because like a lot of people, they don't focus on trials. They don't look at things like that. And then for the stuff where it's actually going to be harming people, where it actually matters, they're not letting you see what's happening. Just like, the Maxwell trial that's going on right now. Like, no cameras in the courtroom. They're trying to shun a lot of the damaging evidence that's going against a lot of public figures that's happening right now. So they're trying to mitigate, what's going to be happening. Because there were streams going on, like Ricada Law and like a few of the other ones out there that were streaming good commentary on the Rittenhouse trial, and there were like on average like 60 to 100,000 people watching that every single day.
Yeah, I was one of them.
So there were a lot of people that were watching that. A lot of people.
That's Nick, right?
Yeah. So this was like a lot of people finally starting to understand and get black-pilled on like what the actual justice system is in America. So for a lot of people that have issue with it, this was probably very vindicating for them. But like for a lot of other people, it's just like, is this actually why people are getting incarcerated at the rates that they're at? Is you have very predatory prosecution, very predatory state that's going after a lot of people.
Very predatory laws.
Very predatory laws. And I think that's kind of where you see it at right now, where like people have kind of like, I think, got a better idea after watching that and just seeing the way that the prosecution behaved in there on how people are interacting with law enforcement, interacting with the justice system. I think this kind of explained to a lot of people like why it's as bad as it is. So I think it's good that everyone got to see this, but I think that people are so politically entrenched that they can't see that like this was by and large optically like a win for anybody that actually cared about like saying that like, yeah, things are kind of bad right now. We might need to do something about that. Yeah. But, people are so politically entrenched, they're just like, oh, well, he murdered those people. And it's just like, that's not what the jury said. Yeah. It's the same sort of reason. It's just like, well, did OJ kill, his wife?
Girl?
It's just like, yeah, it's like.
He must have quit. Yeah, it was actually OJ's son that did the murdering. OJ just ran him away with to hide everything.
So.
But that's neither here nor there.
Man, if he wasn't the best salesman I've ever seen for the Gen 1 Bronco.
For real?
Makes me want one.
Oh, shit.
I'm about to say, man, every time I see one of those things, I just think about, like, that California highway just stuffed with patrol cars.
You ain't gonna catch me. I'm out of this bitch. Mm-hmm. But no, though. Fucking,
like I said, it's just like, they couldn't get stuff to stick on that, and it's just like, if there's reasonable doubt, that is how the justice system works. And you've seen how many people have gotten put away that have been found innocent like 16 years later.
Hell
and it's just
yeah.
like, what sort of compensation is the state going to be able to give you for that?
Nothing.
Like,
they give you absolutely nothing.
Wasn't the one person who they said they had the DNA on her, but she willingly chose the wrong person in the lineup, and after 24 years they finally found that he was
many such cases.
Yeah, there's countless cases of that shit. And the bad thing is that, once you get out of that shit, you're already institutionalized. You don't know any other way of fucking living because you've been there for
so
many fucking years.
Everything has changed so much.
Like, for you, not as much as I think for us, but, like, we've seen, like, the advent of the internet. That only, like, really happened in the past, like, 15 or so years. Yeah. It's really kind of changed as much as it has. imagine being in prison for 20 years and then coming out and not realizing that like smartphones, as we understand them right now, is a thing. Like this isn't like the shit you see in like Shawshank Redemption where you're talking about institutionalized. Like, you may see that like, cars are like a little bit different and buildings have been built a little bit taller and the infrastructure is a bit better. But like, for as like radically as like everything has changed technologically wise,
it's
like,
going on.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't know what the fuck is going on.
Like you went in and you used to pay phones, maybe pagers, and then you get out and then you see like,
Yeah, the universe in the palm of your hands all of a sudden.
Yeah, exactly. Literal Library of Alexandria in your hands and, all of that accessed at the touch of a finger, and like that's what you were used to. It's like you had to look shit up in the white pages if you wanted to call your buddy if you couldn't remember what his number was. So it's just like
that thick ass fucking phone
book.
Oh man, that's back when you used to have only 7 digits before you had the 10.
That's right. Back before I needed area codes because there's too many people.
Oh man, but no though. So what was on? Oh, so the thing you brought up earlier though about the justice reform and everything else like that. That's one thing that I can say that we were kind of close to it back when the Breonna Taylor shit was happening with the no-knock warrants and shit like that. But what ended up happening, in my personal opinion, is the fact of the matter is that people made it about race. We got politicians, and I'm going to go ahead and steal a line from Thomas Sowell and race hustlers that ruined that shit and made it all about fucking race.
If I remember correctly, too, I think that they threw that out for my man's that fired on the police.
Yeah, they had no choice but to.
Yeah. But I mean, that's the sort of thing where it's just like, yeah, the cops like knocked into your house and then
in civilian clothes, no police car or anything like that, and just start opening fires. Like, what the fuck are you expecting me to do?
That's one of the things that you look at that and you should not be able to no-knock. Like that's really too far beyond.
Wasn't it like the wrong house?
No, it wasn't the wrong house. It was the right house. This is one of those things where somebody that she used to date years ago happened to be a drug dealer, way back when. And it's just one of those things where it's like, okay, we actually can fight this. We have a lot of people that's like, oh yeah, this is fucking wrong. And all of a sudden, this is all about race. Whites, they don't give a fuck about blacks. No one gives a fuck about blacks. And this is like, oh, well, way to fucking ruin everyone that could actually have the power to help us out.
It's an interesting thing because a lot of the no-knock stuff is like a relic from like, I say relic, but it's still very in use right now.
I mean, obviously.
But yeah, obviously. But it came from a period in time where like they were very, very big into the war on drugs. And, well, first of all, I'd like to always congratulate drugs for winning the war on drugs. So, congratulations, you did good, bud.
ATF tried, they brought the wrong facility.
Did all right. Yeah. So, the reason they started doing a lot of the no-knock stuff is because they were worried about evidence being destroyed in the gap of time where the police have to come in and announce themselves, police search warrant, knock on the door, give it a minute or two, and then just haul their shit in there to go ahead and do that. And the cops always like to claim too, where it's just like, well, it makes it much safer for us because people have time to prepare. If they know that the police are going to be coming in because you're serving a search warrant, you're gonna stuff yourselves in there. And the alternative too is like the destroying of evidence because it's just like, oh well, people if they're in there and they have like keys to shit in there, they're just going to flush it down the toilet after they hear the Knoxam police search warrant because they'll just mobilize real fast and just stuff that into the shower, stuff that into the toilet, and just send it down the drain. And it's just like, okay, cool. But, if you're going in there and you're serving a search warrant and everything, like while the person is there, it's just like you're trying to catch some shit and you're trying to be, you're trying to catch them in the thick of it. And they like doing the no-knocks because it doesn't have, like, that delay. It doesn't have like give them time to prepare. It's literally you just hit it with the ram and then in you go, maybe a flashbang if they're feeling a little bit like spicy that day. And then like they'll go in there like it's like Rainbow Six and then just like
that's what happened to Andrew Coffey. Threw a flashbang in there and he fucking blasted on their asses and all of a sudden, oh no, Andrew killed his girlfriend. All the bullets were police bullets. It's like, oh well.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, and that's when you can see too, where it's just like people don't talk about like the situations where justice, operates the way that it's intended, where there's nuance, there's consideration, where like there's just like because the law is the law, and I understand that it needs to be that way, but having nuance in its application is also very important as well because like it's just like oh well if you read it like by the book. It's like, oh, well, he shot at cops when they were going ahead and serving this no-knock warrant. And it's just like, well, I mean, if you read into like the nuance, like the intention of the law, it's just like, well, you are waking up and people are not only breaking into your house, but also just firing, I wouldn't say indiscriminately, but they didn't really care who was on the other side of that.
Yeah.
While they were rolling in thick. And it's
Could've
like...
been a fucking child.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, somebody's going in and just like, starting to sling slugs through your fucking living room. It's just like, okay, cool. Well, if I am waking up and I am encountering this sort of situation and I have my wits about me, then like all of a sudden I'm just going to be like, oh, well, it's time to go ahead and not be like 50 Cent. It's time to send a little bit back. So it's like, it's time to send a little bit back.
And it's not cool to get shot and not shoot back.
That's exactly right.
But no, so with that being that, I want to ask everyone here, completely different topic, obviously. Can money buy you happiness?
Yes.
Yes.
Dang.
I'd rather cry in a Rolls Royce.
You motherfuckers are shallow.
Yes.
What about you, TJ? Can money buy you happiness? Please be the one voice of reason.
You're damn straight it can.
Yeah.
You know what? I hate
those tears are going to be hitting those Bugatti leather seats.
I swear to God, I hate
I'd be at a palm tree on a beach. Like, okay, Mr. Krabs, I'll tell you my feelings.
I'm telling you, it's all because
Rocco said it best, man. Rocco said it best. He said, money can't buy happiness? That's a damn lie, because I'm in love with everything it damn buy.
But no, though. See, I asked that question because literally, as TJ would say, the 97% will come out their mouth with, oh no, money can't buy you happiness, money ain't this, money don't mean shit. And it's just one of those things like, well, you try to tell that to somebody that's fucking broke, somebody that's fucking poor, somebody that's fucking struggling. Money can buy fucking happiness. Money buys things that make you happy, and if you're one of those fucking weirdo fruitcakes that's like, oh, I need to save fucking the Brazilian rainforest, guess what? Money can buy that too.
It takes away worries and stress. Because even though there will still be stressful things, it's not as severe as it is when you have less.
Hell no, because I would tell you this.
You can always be diagnosed with like terminal inoperable cancer.
Yeah.
Like regardless. And,
like either way, I'm like, what?
And I'm like, I feel like that's what people are considering when it's like money can't always buy happiness. Like there'll always be something that money can't buy you out of, and it's just like.
Would you rather die in your own private suite?
With the way that technology is going, though, I may have terminal illness, whatever the fuck. Yo, give me his fucking body, take his brain, put it in my body, let's go.
When I saw this, it was on Netflix.
Give me another sleeve. Give me another sleeve. But no, though.
It's gonna get stuff in an Asian man with even smaller penis.
Whoa!
Oh my God. Hey, keep my lower half at least, please. I mean, I like that part.
Yeah, black from the waist down.
But no, though. I say that just off the simple fact of the matter. Like I said, motherfuckers is out there talking about some, money can't give you this, that, and the third. But it's literally every single time I've been depressed, angry, or fucked up in life, I can't help but notice that I'm broke. But every single time I'm fucking happy and generous, I happen to have a shit ton of money.
Funny how that works.
Isn't it though?
Well, I mean, you even look at some of the stuff they've done out there where they've looked at the average Americans, spending power and what they have going on, and most people, like the vast majority of them, cannot afford a unexpected $600 expense. Now imagine if that was exacerbated even a little bit more than that. Like say you were just driving your car around, started hearing some funny noises, transmission blows up. Easy $2,000 right there. And that's a car you're probably still paying off the loan on. It's the same sort of situation where you've heard the Biden administration say right now where it's like, oh, well, if rising gas prices are a big issue, well, it'd be great though because you can just go ahead and buy an electric car.
It's like, do you know how much that shit costs? Yeah,
if you wanted to buy an average electric car, most.
60.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to be looking at about $50,000-$60,000, and most of these cars are
That's not including the interest.
Well, not even including interest. We're talking about 50. Probably
just at basics.
Yeah, well, we're talking about basic package, $40,000 to $50,000 for most of these cars. And what do most people drive on the road? They're driving either minivans because they need the space. They're driving SUVs, or they're driving saloons.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna use the Top Gear term there. Thanks, Jeremy.
Is it good Top Gear or is it World Tour?
Both. Same goons.
Everyone knows that it's still the same thing.
Yeah, same thing, just with Amazon daddy money. So, thanks, Jeff. I think you're a dick flying into space, but like, that's cool too. I like it. I like Grand Tour.
At least he created tits.
Yeah. So there's that. But the big thing being is just that most people, it's one of those things where if you go ahead and you say you have like 8 or 9% like interest rate, that's not even factoring for like if your credit's trash. Like most people aren't going to have like enough for like a good $4,000 or $5,000 down payment on a fucking car on top of it. You're still going to be spending like $800 or $900 a month just on your car payment if you're going for like something like like an $80, sorry, not $80, but 80 month like an 80 month loan on this thing. So when you look at that sort of stuff and how much you're going to be spending on it, it's just like, do you know exactly how long it's going to be taking to pay off that thing? Like one of the biggest things I've always advocated for people, like you need to think about how much it costs per year to go ahead and own and maintain your car. I'm a firm believer in like the $1,000 a year sort of thing, where if you have like into your car $1,000 a year and you can get about that much out of it, you're doing pretty good. Like I've owned my car for probably about, what would you say now, like 12?
Yeah.
12 years now?
Probably a little bit more than that.
Yeah.
It's about 12. It was right around in high school. So.
Yeah, so probably about 12 years now. And
yeah, you're right, 12.
So probably about 12 years. I want to say I think it was maybe about like $6,000, and then on top of that, I've probably done maybe 3,000 or 4,000 in maintenance on it just over that 10, 12 years. Mm-hmm. So that averages out to a pretty good rate at that point in time, where you're kind of getting about what you want out of it. But like you go ahead and you go and you buy a new vehicle, and it's just like one of these electric cars. You spend $50,000 on this sort of thing, and then you're expecting to go ahead and do that. If you're getting like 8% interest on that, like you're going to be spending a lot of money on this vehicle, and you're relying on cheap gas prices to kind of subsidize that. Like, I mean, you're going to be getting a good, generous amount in like a tax write-off, which is a write-off. This isn't you getting $12,000 back or $12,000 cut off of the actual like price of your vehicle. This is you getting $12,000 in tax write-offs.
It's funny because that kind of goes back to what I was talking about before, and how the government incentivizes you to go into debt. So yeah, you get tax write-offs for going into debt. Yeah,
so you're going to be buying this thing. You're going to get a tax write-off for it, which, okay, cool, that's fine. But it's the same sort of reason where it makes more sense to buy it as like a business, because then you can write that off anyway, and it's an appreciating asset. So I mean, it already on multiple levels it works a lot better just buying it through a business. I mean, not everybody does that, of course. But
not everyone knows how to set themselves up for a business.
Sure, but what it really comes down to is it's not feasible for the average person to just say, oh hey, like gas is starting to get to the point where it's just like the same way as it was during the Bush administration, when we're going through like the good part of the war on terror. So it's like,
before we started losing.
We're always losing. This was never about another subject entirely.
Completely different.
I'm not going to chase that right now.
I totally understand where you're coming from, because as a person, I did get a fairly new car, and that unexpected $600 popped up 4 times last year between my car and my mom's car, a tax bill. I'm like, you've been holding this tax bill back for 4 years now. All of a sudden, the tax bill, you have this tax bill. Okay, we're going to do $200 in late fees, $50 transaction fee. And I'm like, where do you think money's going to come out of a tree?
Out your ass. Listen, you're having a hard time paying it. Coming to my house real quick. I get work something out.
Leave it to you to make it creepy. Leave it to you to make it creepy.
This is that balding guy with the fucking comb over. Come on over here. Let me help you pay this out.
Nancy has this retirement plan.
That's the plan. I'd rather be a sugar daddy.
Go down and work for the DMV.
That's exactly
pulling the pores.
He's going on that Joe Biden tip. He's just going to be balding in an unattractive way and just be like, hey, 6 months. Let me whisper in your ear.
I actually said that at one point in time, and the bitch lied on me.
Oh my god.
Not the first time.
Clint knows.
Oh god.
Well, the Beatrix,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so
can't seem to help himself.
Yeah. Anyway,
you grabbed that girl's whole boob.
Oh my god, she's a fucking liar. Don't believe that.
No, he actually didn't. That's the funny thing.
But I say Clinton was there. We had another witness there when I went off. All I did was, hey, little mama, let me whisper in your ear. Tell you a little something you might like to hear. You've all heard the whistle song before, and he tried to rape me.
He grabbed a handful of my titty.
First things first, like her titty wasn't even like she didn't even have titties. Like if I would have grabbed titties and whatnot, I'd have grabbed Sanaya's titty because there was a massive amount of her titties there versus the other girl's titties. So it was just like, okay, yeah, like if I'm grabbing titties, I'm grabbing the bigger amount here.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll hold up.
I'm ambitious.
Let's have a little weight to it.
Your Honor, I will present this exhibit. See how small this bitch's titties are. One cannot feasibly grab a handful.
Like it's merely a palm.
Yeah.
More like a slap with a chip.
Yeah.
Put band-aids on it.
Your Honor, that is more like the Pledge of Allegiance than it was a grope.
Alright, so I
should become a defense attorney.
Yes.
I'd break out my best southern drawl for that one.
So
Your Honor, that is clearly false. As you can see, my defendant is an ass man.
He likes thighs and he likes feet.
See Exhibit 357. If you will look, you will see that when he went down to KFC, he specifically requested leg and thigh, no breast.
Alright, so with that, I actually do have a question for pretty much everyone here. We can do a round top answering of this shit, whatever. But I want to know, why is it that women's standards are okay, but a man's standard for a woman is offensive?
You gotta be more detailed.
All right, so women's standards. Mm-hmm. He needs to be 6'2", things a man can't control. Mm-hmm. He needs to be dark skin, things a man can't control. Shit like that. Like,
I thought it was light skin. Wait a second.
Light skin, dark skin doesn't matter.
He's describing his fantasy, not
I need a large, muscular, dark-skinned man.
But yeah, so basically
that keeps you safe though. Large, muscular, but not dark-skinned, so it's okay.
Thank God I'm not
So
getting
just keep you out of the sun, and you'll be all right.
It's pretty much one of those things where women's standards can be about things that a man really cannot control, such as like their height. But if a man's standards, such as their weight, comes about, all of a sudden the man is offensive. Why is that?
See,
women are delusional.
it depends on the person.
No, like
I agree with you.
You get what I'm saying, but you've seen this happen before.
Yes.
Where literally women are like,
yes.
You cannot say that I can't be this weight. You gotta find me attractive no matter how fat I am. I could be 300 pounds at 3'2". You gonna have to fuck me.
No. I would.
There's a little bit to unpack about that. Like there's
a lot of layers.
Yeah. I mean,
it is age too, bro.
So serious.
But you know what I'm saying? Like we've all seen. Well, I've seen this before. Have you guys seen
that out
shit
like
like
he's
this?
been practicing in the mirror?
I feel like my standards are like basic standards.
Clearly.
What are basic standards here?
Just financially stable.
Mm-hmm.
Nice grooming.
Define grooming.
You wash. You cut some places.
Okay.
But
So,
just trim.
We'd like to say that we're not personally sponsored by Manscaped.
At least a trim. Nobody like shave it to the trim. Not going in.
But the lawnmower 3.0.
The lawnmower 3.0 does work wonders. We're not sponsored.
I don't want to come with a hatchet to try to find something.
That's why we get Manscaped. No, we're just gonna keep saying Manscaped until they fucking recognize us.
Of course. That's how you get sponsored. They sponsored Garanthon.
they did.
Yeah. But no, though.
Plaid Daddy, he can sell me anything.
So what about
Able to get around. Doesn't have to be a car, but at least know the system around.
Ain't no way in fuck. No.
Well,
See,
no,
that's where you fucking up. You fucking up right now.
How am I fucking
If
up?
you gonna fuck a nigga that ain't got no goddamn car at where you are in life, you fucking up in life.
Right now.
If you fucking around with a nigga that ain't got no car and ain't got no job, you fucking up.
I didn't say.
You said
I said financially stable.
But
usually that implies a job where you got money coming from somewhere that I don't need to know about.
Yeah,
I like the sound of that.
Right?
I'm being honest. I don't know nothing. I'm not.
Welfare is
saying
technically
that.
financially stable. Like,
yes.
If you got your monies in that's
But
in
all
order,
I'm
I'm not going to
saying-
judge.
But here's what you're not saying.
Yes.
What women actually mean by financial security is
Give me
you
6
need to
figures.
make a lot more than me, and I need to be able to do whatever the fuck I want. If I want to quit my job, you got everything on lock.
If you don't believe me, all right.
That's what most women.
Cat, answer me this right here.
Okay.
If you fucking around with a motherfucker, right, and they making $9 an hour, would you fuck with them?
Nope.
I fuck with someone making $11 an hour.
No, $9 an hour.
$9 an hour. How many hours?
before or
are
after taxes?
That's a big thing.
Before taxes, $9
You
an
only
hour.
got one
Alright.
job in that too.
Only one job. What the fuck do you need 2 jobs for? They able to
Only
survive
working
off $9 an hour.
But
Would
then
you
I'm like,
fuck
can you
with a nigga?
survive off of $9 an hour on you plus me?
What's that got to do with you? What's that got to do with you? He living his best life.
Yeah.
Would you fuck with a nigga
But
like
can he
that?
afford
No.
me? That's the question.
Oh, so it does have to be a little more than just, oh yeah, they can get around and everything else like that. Because you can get around on $9.
You can.
You gotta live with your mama.
Hmm?
You gotta live with your mama.
Okay.
Would you fuck
I
with
fucked
a
a
nigga?
nigga who lived with his mama.
And that's where you fucked up. That's exactly where you fucked up. What was he doing while he was living with his mama? What jobs did he have?
He worked at a grocery store.
How much was he getting paid?
$12.25.
You fucked up. How much are you getting paid?
At that-
Wait. You don't gotta give me an exact number. Were you getting paid more or less?
Oh, definitely.
Definitely more. And you fuck with him?
I own my own company.
Would you fuck with another nigga that's making less than you?
Right now,
Would you fuck with a nigga that's making less than you?
well, since I'm
I like how
just
meta this is right now.
less than me.
Yes, less
Well,
than
less
you.
than me could be minimum wage, which has risen over the years. But I would say no.
Well,
The
actually,
reason
accounting
why-
for inflation.
Accounting for inflation, you know.
The reason I would
Biden.
say no, not more lean on him for support, is like I like to do shit, and I want you to do shit with me, so you need to afford the shit.
Why don't you pay for him?
Hmm?
Why don't you pay for him?
I don't expect him to pay for me.
But why don't you pay for him?
Maybe from time to time, but not all the time.
All the time.
That's a leech.
That's a leech?
That's a different
That's a leech?
definition. That's a leech. I don't do leech.
Interdasting.
So you tell me right here, right now, if a dude's making less than you want to do things, whatnot, but he can't afford to do things, he's like, you know what, I'm good staying at home. You're still like, fuck that shit. I'm into this shit because you don't make enough, you don't want to do these things with me.
After a certain amount of time.
After a certain amount of time. It's like, listen, I don't want to go
It doesn't have to be all the time here and
After the
there.
honeymoon phase.
after the honeymoon phase is over with, huh?
But I like to go do places. I want to find someone who has the same energy to go and do places.
Well,
Like
that's
if
your
I
friends
want to
are-
buy a ticket,
But that's
and
what your
hop off-
friends are for. That's what your friends are for.
Yeah.
Do places. Yeah, I work all the time. I'm
my
fucking tired.
friends. I do. But this is something for every friend group. When you plan a trip, the amount of people you start with and the amount of people that actually go there are two separate things.
Well, that's what your
I don't know,
friends
man.
are
We had the
for.
full roster aside from Manzo. over
Yeah,
here.
aside
Like,
from,
it was
well,
like-
you know, it was expected for him not to show up, given the fact of the matter is that, you know, I was like, yeah, he's more like not gonna show because he has work.
Yeah.
So, and that's a long ass fucking drive for him to get all the way out there, just to drive his ass all the way back without anybody else with him.
You missed a lot of day drinking.
You miss a lot of day drinking, you miss a campfire, you miss s'mores, you miss stripper titties, you miss good barbecue. God damn, that barbecue fucked me
by a
up.
black widow spider. That was
Oh
pretty
yeah, I
awesome.
got bit by a black widow spider, fucking because I didn't check the fucking wood before I grabbed. No homo, grabbed it.
Weekend.
Oh, you missed 2 birds snapping their fucking necks on a window.
Yep.
Paul running around with a bird and a fucking fireplace shovel trying to get the fly.
Yep. Almost yeeted that thing out there just to get it going again.
Fucking, it was a good time. You missed a good time. But anyway, back to the question: why is it that women find man standards offensive?
Because
Damn.
Offensive as in.
As in, oh no, I can't.
Well, what
I
are
don't
the men's
like that.
standards?
what are the standards?
You better be fucking fit, lose that weight, fatty. That type of stuff.
Shots fired.
Well, the thing about it is, women feel as though they're the prize, and they should only get the best men, whereas they're not realistic with themselves, and they're like, I deserve the top notch, but I'm going to continue to be lazy, do what I want to do, and not correct myself and, be healthy and, have a certain type of lifestyle. Y'all just want to be lazy and then expect us to do everything and have all these high expectations, but y'all don't do nothing. And then
well,
when
they
we're
do
like,
something. They lay on their back and spread their legs.
There you go.
I mean, they do keep society going, but
That was a very diplomatic way to say it.
but it's the
He's a good
expectation of
politician.
a man has to go above and beyond, whereas a woman doesn't have to do much because they're a woman and they believe their looks alone deserve the best in the world. When that's a false reality.
I do agree with you on that, specifically because women outnumber men.
Quiet, 3%.
Mm-hmm.
Keep
I
on. What
just
you
had
say?
that hard statistic to pull out.
Keep going.
Well, I wasn't raised on the equal mentality, vice versa. You got to put in what you give out. Same thing going
Watch
in.
anime about that.
It's called Formula Alchemist. The law of equivalent exchange.
I think it helped that I was raised with mostly all brothers, so it's just like.
Were they happy they singing in colored? Were they happy singing in colored?
Yes. If we are all in the same room. Separate, I don't know. It's a little slug here, shot there. Figure it out. Men can't work. Women are just in the background.
Yeah, you're gonna say money. Hey, anyway, about you two. Why do you guys think that females find the male standard to be offensive?
I'll be honest, I really don't fucking care.
I already gave my answer in the beginning.
Well, I didn't catch
I
it.
was like, because they're delusional.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll say there's a factor to that too, but it's like I said, I just really don't care. And the reason being is just like, I run a fucking business. I've got another job on top of it. Like, I'm not saying that I'm getting stuck in like the grind mindset, because I think that's a very toxic mindset to find yourself in. But like, I have to say, I'm like so fucking busy, and like there's so much to do, and like there's so much going on. And it's just like to get lost in. It's like, oh well, why do you think women's standards are the way that they are? And it's just like, sure, like one can speculate on why this, that, and the third is happening, but it's like, I really don't fucking care.
All right, so
because like,
I'm sorry. Quick question, right? Motherfucker, the second
Might as well
time.
just tape that
Fuck
shit
it.
to you.
Anyway, the question is this right here, right? Given what you're doing and everything else like that, within 5 years or whatever, you think you'd be pretty much stabilized with what you got going on?
well, I mean, I can give my best, but that's really for God to decide.
Yeah, point
Like,
taken.
that's like-
But if you were,
I would say that's a bit out of my hands.
but if you were to get to exactly where you were, would you be opposed to being a sugar daddy?
100%,
You'd be opposed to being a sugar daddy?
100%.
Oh, you want a wife?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's one of the things where it's just like, I think that the major damage that's happened to society right now is like this whole situation that we found ourselves in, where like, like the OnlyFans thing is probably one of the worst things that's happened
It's
to.
the best thing that happened.
No, it's one of the worst things I think that's happened to society in like the longest time, because like, you have like, this like massive like simp culture that's kind of come out of nowhere. I wouldn't say out of nowhere, but it's just like it's really
Underground.
it's really metastasized into something that's been much more dangerous than it really should
That's
be.
the 80% of dudes that just cannot talk to women, that don't have the social ability to speak to women.
Well, see, this is also exacerbated by the fact that like social media and online dating has kind of like yielded a very dangerous result that I think that like we really can't fully understand until like maybe 20, 30 years down the road, when we can actually see the ramifications of what this has caused. Because like you have a lot of women that are going out there, they're doing a lot of the online dating, and they have access to a lot more
Meat.
men, they have a lot more access to many more choices than they normally would have if they were in an environment where they didn't have access to that many people or aware of that many people. So when you have this amount of choice, they're going to go, because a lot of women will go for the best men that they can feasibly get. So this will all kind of like consolidate into them all trying to go for the same, kind of individual, the same kind of person, and then these people will they will take advantage of the situation that they're in because this is human nature.
I'm about to say that's legit the reason why I was saying in like one of the other podcasts or whatnot that as far as these things go, women go after about 20% of men, like the other 80% just aren't socialized enough to. Well, women go after about 10%. Another 10% of men actually go out there to try to get their the rocks or whatever. But for the most part, only about 20% of men are out there getting it in with women and everything else like that. That's why whenever these women say that all men are trash, it's one of those things like, well, you keep going at the same type of men. Yeah. Every woman goes at the same type of men. Like, it's rare for a woman to go after the fuck are you doing?
There's a lot to go, lot going on.
So it's literally one of those things where for the most part, women go after the same type of men and everything else like that. And it's because, these are the men that actually put themselves out there. The other ones are pretty much like low-ski status. I want to stay at Shed and live off my mama, Katie.
For the most part, when we're talking about like what we have going on right now, you're by and large talking about low-quality women, where which is a vast majority of women, where they aren't conditioned enough. They aren't able to see. Actually, conditioned in the way where it's just like when you go through life, you have like experiences that actually show you how you can actually build character. Okay.
Keep going.
No, it's basically it's like you can go through and you can see how like they're conditioned to say like, oh, they're living the sort of life that any normal human being would live, where it's like, I go out, I experience adversity, I find out what's really valuable to me, I find out that this is my kind of place in the human experience, this is kind of what I have going on, and then it can actually cause you to truly be able to appreciate another human being. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people that you will see out there are of the low quality variety, where they're not able to really kind of deal with the issues that they may be having in their life. They're not able to, because a lot culturally is happening right now where you're able to engage in your more base instincts. Something where like a lot of people think that like it's kind of like this really like liberal secular mentality where it's like they think that freedom is absolute freedom, where it's like you can do anything you want at any point in time, where like true freedom comes from discipline, where you can say that I have the ability to go out there and do whatever sort of degenerate behavior I want to, but I choose not to because I have this discipline in my life to say that no, this will harm myself, this will harm people I care about, this will harm others, and like that's the real freedom that a lot of people were talking about when they talk about freedom. And like I think that's a lot of thing that a lot of people have lost these days, where they don't really understand that like this is kind of where you're supposed to be at, and that's kind of gone by the wayside. So that's a whole different.
What would you actually consider to be? Okay, well, as soon as Clint comes back, so I ask him when he comes back. He went to go take a leak and pull his dick out because he's weird like that. But either way,
thanks. We'll get that in editing.
But I was going to ask you guys, what do you guys consider to be low quality or low value men or women? For the men, I want you to know what your low quality value or low value woman is. For you, Kit Kat, what's your definition of a low quality man?
We're gonna start on me.
We can start with whoever. Whoever wants to go first.
You should go first. You go.
Well, you're already here. You might as well go. So then we can rip into your shit.
The subject. It is your birthday.
Hey, you know what? That's right. Oh, I forgot to tell y'all. TJ just turned another year older. He's another year closer to death. That fucking asshole. Yeah. Light-skinned, sexy motherfucker. I'm not gay, though. Anyway.
And I'm the one with the most gray hair. That's shameful.
I don't know. He has a couple of grays in there. He just keeps his hair low, so you can't see it.
All right. Keeps it neat, man.
Anyway, so what's your definition of a low value or low quality bitch, female woman, bitch?
It's like the whole meme where it's just like, oh yeah, can you get the vanilla latte with breast milk? Breast milk.
God damn. A low quality value woman. Bitch. All right, I guess a bitch. I would say very masculine, very closed-minded, very.
Define masculine.
Are we gonna go over this again?
Yeah, we're gonna go over this again.
I'm gonna actually define masculine because somebody else can be.
We're gonna talk about masculine women.
Exactly.
Actually define because some people are like, oh yeah, masculine women. It's like cool. I'm on steroids. Give me that ass, boy.
Yeah, so it's like the levels are pretty high over there.
It's a little
I don't think that's anywhere.
masculine, like butch, or
That's borderline sexual harassment.
If you know, I'm talking to HR tomorrow. Filing a grievance.
That's gonna be me here soon.
No, what I mean by that is, like I said before, a strong, independent-minded woman who's always trying to compete with their man versus being submissive and being naturally feminine. You're being conditionally feminine because you're choosing to play a masculine role. You're trying to have your cake and eat it too, and sugar, that ain't how it works.
so me. Okay.
So.
Well, I think that one of the things I'd say, kind of even just moving off of that, is I think that what a lot of people miss out on is that, the man and the woman are supposed to be complementary. Like, it's supposed to be something that supports one another. So when a lot of women decide they want to take, the very aggressive, like, masculine roles at work, where they're just like, I'm the high-power CEO, I'm the one that's going to have taking... Not even just I'm the man, but is assuming like a more like masculine presence in the workplace, in societal encounters with people. You're not necessarily. It's almost like you have to flip a switch, where it's just like when you go home, you have to be this different. I wouldn't say like submissive necessarily, but just
Yes.
like
I would say that. I would say you have to be
no.
submissive.
The reason I don't say necessarily is because like you're there complimentary. You're fulfilling the role as the woman, where you're not necessarily just submissive on the face of it, but to the point where you are uplifting and supporting the other person that's there in the relationship.
Okay.
Like, it's not necessarily saying that, oh, you're doing everything that your man is saying. It's like, no, you're there to make sure that he can be the best person that he can be.
Okay.
Because when you are the best person that you can be, and you're supporting the other person in the relationship, doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing, then that's how you extract the best of it from both people in the relationship.
See, I like this definition.
When you have a relationship where you have like a lot of these women that are very masculine, very domineering, who do you normally see that these women kind of find themselves in relationships with? You find them with the soy boys. You have them with like
the 80%.
Well, a lot of these guys that are very like meek, the herbivores, like like the people that are not like the men that are not like
the you're a fucking white male men.
Well, not even,
Don't touch me, please.
yeah. He's like, but that's my butt.
Oh, my bum bum.
So, but so it's exactly that sort of situation where I think that if everyone is fulfilling their role, at least in that sort of thing, because you can see it's almost like a funhouse mirror inversion of it, where you see like a very masculine woman that also has like a very like herbivore man. It's like it's the same relationship, but it's not necessarily like happening in the way that it was necessarily being intended. Because it's not to say that like women, like, they need to understand that there is a lot of power that happens with the femininity. Like, there's a lot of power that's extracted from that.
I said that.
You did.
But like there's a lot of power that can be extracted from that, because like that's the role that they've been designed to fulfill. And it's not necessarily, that's why I think that subservient is not necessarily like the right term for it. I think that complementary is always the sort of the way to describe it. It's like left brain, right brain. Or it's like very different problems that both are meant to be attacking. Like, because like for the man, it's always been like a very like, at least through like generations of evolution, it's like you look at it, it's like the man has to do, typically like manly sort of things, where it's just like they need to
manipulate the earth, manipulate the world.
Yeah, they need to affect will upon like the environment. They need to, like the hunter-gatherer whole mindset's a very typical thing to do it. And then what were the women back home doing? They were homemaking, but the other bit that they didn't, really realize, I think, that they really understood that they needed to do was the community building. Was that they understood that there needed to be like cohesion between all the people that were in the group. So like, a lot of these women, they would be together, they would understand that like we all need to make sure that we can kind of have everyone moving in the same direction, that we can kind of like have everyone working together, because conflict in these sort of environments, this isn't productive for me to be able to raise my children in.
The craziest thing about that too is that if you ever watch Happy Feet or Avatar: Last Airbender, they actually have something like that within their colonies, like the Southern Water Tribe, where Sokka and Qatar are from. The women are there to raise the children and everything. So the men are out doing whatever the fuck they gotta do for fighting war. And then Happy Feet and whatnot, you'll notice that.
Trash.
Suck my asshole, you fucking faggot.
Elisha Wood's worst role.
Happy Feet was trash, bro.
Elisha
Suck
Wood's worst role.
a fat man's dick. All right, that's what you can do. Anyway, as I was saying.
You said that, and you were thinking way too much. So I feel like that's a regular thought pattern.
But as I was saying though, like they actually have that shit inside the Saturday Entertainment and whatnot. We actually do see things like that. But I can't help but notice that Clinton over here is being all types of silent when it comes down to what is a low value bitch.
He's like TJ, man. He listens.
I was in the bathroom.
He's here to be a troll.
Oh yeah, that's right. I definitely did say I was gonna wait. I definitely did say his dick was out. So
no, it wasn't even that, man. He was in there getting down to drag weight. So it's like.
All right. So the question was, what do you consider to be a low value bitch?
Gotta give him a minute to recover.
Yeah, what? Like,
What do you consider to be a low value bitch?
I came back, and then in the middle of all that conversation, I hear that y'all were talking about my dick being out. And it's like, oh yeah, by the way, what was a low value bitch? I'm like, oh, why were you talking about my dick being out?
Oh, you see, when a man loves a woman.
Holy fuck.
There's a song about that.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of goes along with what everyone else was saying. Like, a woman who's not supportive of the man's goal is constantly trying to do her own thing and constantly wants to put down, the man's ambition because it doesn't live up to what her ambition for the man is.
Ooh, I forgot about that one. About because what was it? Fucking in a previous podcast, we had a lady on pretty much saying that, I'll date a man that's a trash man, but I'm gonna have to build him up to where he's owning the trash company. I was like, well, what if he's
let's just say that
being
our
a trash man?
Men that work in waste management do make good wages.
I actually brought that up too. I was like, dude, men that work in waste management, they make more money than my black ass does, and they're actually convicts too.
Anyone who makes fun of waste management professionals is fucked up. Because not only...
I'm like, they handle your shit.
I've seen that episode of The Simpsons. I know how it works.
Yeah, like, not only do they actually make, like, a reasonable amount, but, like, bruh, I've been in New York City when, like, the trash men were on strike, and that shit was on the side of the streets as high up as me with, like, rats running around in it.
Yeah.
That is not something you want to see happen. No. Those men are treasures. And I appreciate them every day they haul that shit away.
I'm in agreement.
Our waste management professionals, we salute you.
Yeah. We salute thee.
No, for real. I was like, what the fuck is going on? While I was with trash years old, like the trash workers happened to be on strike. Like that time I was like in New York for like 3 days. And dude, by like midnight, I swear to God, there was trash along the gutters piled up like as tall as me. Yep. Like you had to find like pathways through the trash bags to get like across the street and shit. It smelled. There were rats everywhere. It was awful.
Yeah.
All right, so
the division.
Yeah,
oh my God. So
Tom Clancy, you're supposed to be dead. Why are you doing this?
So Paul, you brought up a good point earlier about fucking niggas being more feminine, more of a bitch, more beta, more of a glitter farting dude, right?
Okay.
Tropes, yes.
Loose booty.
What I said.
It's close enough.
Yeah, no, I can see you took
Took a couple of
I
liberties.
took creative liberty with that, but that's fine.
But yeah, there's a couple of loose booty dudes out here.
Loose booty dudes.
So
Poop just falling out of, I guess.
yeah, because they're so fucking feminine, right?
Yeah.
So
Wait, hold on.
Returning the point.
There's so much wrong with what you just said.
neither here nor there.
So people who are feminine just have poop falling out of them. Yeah, poop falling out because they're still feminine.
They got the loose booty. That's what it is.
Yeah.
What's correlation? Because they're so feminine, they like to get fucked.
That's
So therefore, point taken. Suck my dick. Anyway. See, he's not with that gay shit. I asked him to do a gay act. He told me no. See?
So you with the gays?
No, I'm. Fuck you guys right now, all right? Anyway, as I was.
Not, sir. I'm straight.
Shut up, nigga. So as I was saying,
imagine what the neighbors think.
That's a good point. Well, they can't say shit. They used to get into a fight every day until
Well,
like
they
a
see it for
month.
free. Like they don't even have to click, skip ad.
But no, so fucking I was gonna say was
That's why I paid her extra. I mean, paid extra for the Hulu. That's what I meant. Yeah.
Okay.
But no, so with that being that and everything else like that, how exactly is it? How do you guys feel about the? So I saw this post some time ago, and it was pretty much about how women were getting upset with boys and men and whatnot because they were told as a young age, men don't cry, boys don't cry, so on and so forth, right? How do you guys actually feel about that statement? Because I have my own reservations on it.
Downloading.
I would say no.
Porn.
He's playing his game to keep it for AI, and he'll tap it every few minutes.
Oh, okay. Okay, I understand.
He's playing Injustice because Injustice requires you to play 55 hours as one fucking character because you fucking retarded.
Like the rap.
like the pamper, like the pamper pussy.
Jesus Christ.
I'm on the.
But no, how do you guys?
Make you
So were you
show
sitting in
emotions.
training right
Yes, express your emotions.
No. I'm
But then there's
multiverse.
The also
Oh,
part of me who crying makes me uncomfortable at the same time.
So you don't want a man that's going to cry in your arms. You
No,
wanna
that's
hold a
okay.
man.
I think
You want to hold a man and she cries. Oh, it's
I
okay,
think
baby.
I'm
Cry and fall
scarred.
asleep.
So I have a question.
a scarred from having a man who cried so much.
He cried after sex.
We talked about this.
Did he cry during sex?
That was a real.
That was real.
It was a moment. I was like,
Did he cry during sex? It feels so good inside you.
Big yikes.
oh, it would have been done right then.
What in the
I can't. That's a line.
But he did cry after.
After.
He also
shut up,
saying
I was
he did it.
I know my pussy is good, but goddamn, what the?
Brought him to tears.
There's one thing too, but full on just. He had a whole moment. I was just like, I don't know. This is not the pillow talk.
Faced with his own existentialism right after that. Life's never going to get as good as this again. What am I going to do? Might as well just kill myself.
This is the best pussy I'll ever afford. There's nothing else I can do in life. There's nothing to look forward
When
to.
he's like, you are the light of my life, nigga. Wait, we've only known each other 3 months. Hold up.
That sounds like TJ with the old girl. I think I can write poetry and I'm in love. My name is Stephanie.
Poetry.
Oh my fucking goodness.
Why is it that you fucked me and never called me back, TJ? I'm in love with you.
Damn, man. He looking at that mac and cheese with the utmost.
First of
sorrow.
all, it's his birthday and he's a virgin. So leave him
Thank you.
I forgot.
You say these things, man, from your mouth to God's ears. Like,
But no, though. Do you? So the reason why I asked is because there's like a lot of dudes that actually hopped on this. Talking about, oh yeah, the reason why I can't do X, Y, and Z is because as a child I was told that men and boys don't cry, and this is one of those things where it's like the thing that pissed me off about this is because these dudes are out here accepting this bullshit ass excuse for their fucking fuck ups and their fucking failures, for their emotional fucking distrust and their emotional fuck
let me
ups.
be the first to say that I will always cry at the end of Gladiator.
That's different.
So
But there's a couple. There's a couple of things that make me
Very
cry,
much.
such as Violet
as soon
Evergarden.
as Now We Are Free comes on, and like, I start feeling it. Like, it's something about Gladiator. I don't know, man. Like, that's Russell Crowe. Like, he deserved an Oscar before my man's Leonardo. I'll say that 100%. You can take that to the bank.
Leonardo definitely
But, like,
is though.
No, he got his, but it was in a raw year.
Yeah,
and, like, there wasn't much competition.
And it was just literally
Remnant wasn't
like,
that good.
It really
but, like,
wasn't. Like, he has so much better movies.
Okay, we're
off topic.
I was like, what?
Just the sharpest left turn.
Right turn. We don't do lefts around here. Anyway.
Yep. Yep.
Make him choke on his food.
That's right.
Have my dick.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my.
Just got the wasted bit pop up, just killed by mac and cheese.
And it was like, dude, this is the same dude you were talking about.
What's this? Loser. What does it say? Oh
Yeah,
shit.
that's exactly what it was. That's exactly what it was like at the shop today.
But no though.
God.
But no though. So like I said, these guys out there that actually hop on that and it's like, oh yeah, this is my excuse for being a fucked up individual that can't hold a relationship down. It's because I was told that I'm not allowed to cry. And so We got 4 guys
Wait,
here.
hold on. So you're saying that they're saying the reason that something that held them back in life was because they were told they couldn't.
They couldn't cry. They quote unquote couldn't cry. Now, like I said, we have 4 guys here, right? So when we were told beforehand, stop that crying, you're a man. Men don't cry like that, right? What did you guys take that as? Because I took it as, okay, yeah, you know, you gotta find another way to handle this bullshit as emotion. Or how did you guys take it? I'm not saying I know I just said it's a bullshit as emotion, but what I'm saying is that, you know, you gotta find a way to handle that out in public and everything else. That it's okay for a bitch ass nigga to cry, but you know, at the same time, it's one of those things where, you know, you don't cry for no fucking reason. Because typically, whenever, you know, they say don't cry, it's because of something stupid. You took my toy away. Who the fuck?
There's the retard voice. Slips itself out whenever it can.
But you get what I'm saying, though, right? So whenever we're told,
They told me I can't do it at work, so now I have to do it here.
Back when I used to work at Target, I know to avoid customers. I used to do that.
Still working where you're working right now too. So not even gonna put your pixie dust on that, but like, you know, it's like that's exactly what it is.
My favorite thing was, hey, excuse me, sir, can you help me? Yeah, I got you what you need help with. Oh, never mind, I don't need help. You do it, I can do it.
Saw that happen in person. So.
Oh.
You know the story we have to tell?
What's this now?
The Target story after basketball.
Which one was this?
The one where you started being super gay at Target to TJ when he was trying to mack on old girl.
When the fuck did this happen? You gotta tell the story. I don't remember this shit.
That's probably
Let
not
me
the
tell
best,
it now.
That's probably not the best thing you want for you, Yancey.
I do want it. I do.
Oh, I really want to hear the story.
Okay.
Please,
All right,
please
well,
tell it.
you know, we'll hit this story. This would be the
We'll
fucking
take it
kind of
Like I
Sure.
said, we'll pick this out and put it in later. So let you actually work for a living.
No, I really want to hear this. I don't remember the story.
You don't remember this?
I don't remember the story at all. Yeah, we'll let TJ come back here and he'll
No,
explain.
because he was directly involved in it.
That's what
Yeah,
I'm
because
saying.
like I don't recall this happening at all. I say a lot of gay shit towards this man in public.
Funny
So
how he can't pick out.
Dude,
the
this
exact-
was the, like, unironically, this was probably the gayest shit you ever did towards him.
really now,
Yes.
Really?
even more than my vertical kicking in and me trying to pants him.
Yes.
What?
What the fuck?
You can tell it's going to bring in the pucker factor here in a minute.
Okay. I'm a little afraid of this story now because I don't recall doing something this
No,
gay.
Look how quiet
Like,
he's
was it so gay that I blocked it out?
He looks
It might have
traumatized.
been.
All right, so TJ, how gay was this?
I don't remember this.
See, even he doesn't remember it.
I
See,
think my body blocked it out because I was.
No.
so we both blocked it out.
The thing is there was a participant and the receiver, and then I was a bystander, so I got to just enjoy the whole fucking thing.
All right, please explain.
This shit's about to hit you like a
It was funny.
flashback.
It was awful. I felt bad for you. But,
I mean, it could be worse.
but-
no one's gonna rape this girl.
but she said take advantage of. By the
You're
way.
right.
No, but I'm gonna be selfish. And I started looking in, that shit was funny as fuck. No, so this was like forever ago. We had gone to the basketball court by TC. We were fucking playing basketball, and I remember because I don't think I fucking got one fucking ball in the hoop because you know,
White people can't jump.
yeah, white people can't jump.
I don't know.
I mean, they made a movie about it, so it has to be true.
And so we ran by Target before going. Like, before taking everyone home or whatever, we're in fucking Target. And TJ, the girl at who's working the register, he knew when he starts talking to her. And he's like, oh, hey, yeah, what's been up? And she's like, not much. What you been doing? And here comes fucking Yancey, like fucking beeline it. Pew! He's been doing me, sweetie.
Oh my god! Oh my fucking god!
And she's like, what? And TJ just is in such fucking shock. I can see he can't even think of what to say. He's like, what? What? No. No. Yancy, shut up. Stop playing. And Yancy doesn't break character. That was the bad part. He stayed in it. He's like, what the fuck do you mean, bitch? You can't... You see, this is why we have problems. Because you can't introduce me to your friends. I'm good enough to fuck, but not good enough to introduce to the people you know. You're sleeping on the couch tonight. And dude, I'm in the background, and I'm like, I can't breathe. Like, I'm like, please, diaphragm, extend. And gotta bring in air. And he's like, don't fucking listen to him. I don't know what the fuck he's saying, but ew, stop. He's just like, it was not what you said last night while I was slobbing on it. But fine, be that way. And just like straight walks off to the front. And I'm like, there's no fucking way he's doing this right now. And let's look at fucking TJ, and he's just like, what the fuck was he doing? And the girl's just like flabbergasted now, like no words coming out of her. He's just like, yeah, ignore him. That's not what's going on. So yeah, no, I've been good. I've been doing my fuck it. Yeah, dude, so now I've like shimmied my way because now I can't hold it anymore. I'm trying to find him because like if I stay here, I'm gonna be fucking laughing like a fucking idiot. So I like take off. And he's at the front by the fucking doors dying because he can't keep a straight face anymore. And I was just like, that was the most fucked up shit I've seen you do in public, I think, ever.
God damn.
Again, so your life is not boring.
He's just extremely gay.
Like,
That's right.
like the secondary parts were all like, they captured the mood, but I'm not sure if they were like in quotes. But the part I remember was in quotes was when I just see a fucking streak go by me and hear, he's been doing me, sweetie. That was in fucking quotes. And I was just like, there's no fucking way.
Just screaming in there, gay black lightning.
Oh shit. Well, I don't think we're topping that. So with that being had, thank y'all for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed. Subscribe, do whatever the fuck you do with this gay ass bullshit. Anyway, catch y'all niggas next time.
Peace.
Had to end it on a very unflattering story for you.
Hey, it is what it is. Where the fuck's that stop button at?